Peace, y'all. Welcome to today's mathematics with your girl Sunshine Monet L. Today is 4/27/8. You already know we in the month of 4. This is the month of manifesting and materializing, bringing things into fruition. This is the space of culture and what you establish with that said culture and freedom. Ashe? So on this day of 2/7, you know we're in the third decan of the month. This is the decan of creation and creativity. Understanding, which is the application of your knowledge and wisdom from the first 2 decans of this month. So in this decan, we are finding balance. You're finding balance, harmony, and justice in the realms of your 7, which is your internal godly self. Is your outside self in alignment with your inside self? Is your worldly self in alignment with God and God's will? If not, you need to get it right. I know y'all been feeling that anger up inside you. I know y'all been getting them voices in your head that make you angry, that are screaming at you, this, that, and the third. That ain't nothing but Venus and Aries, baby. And what that's doing is, and then Mercury is over there too. And what that's doing is putting you in a space of the enforcer is here now and your frequency. The enforcer is screaming at you to align your frequency with the frequency of the universe, of the collective, of the most high, however way you want to look at it. You're not in alignment. And until you get in alignment, you will always be frustrated. You will always be annoyed. You will always be upset. You will always be depressed. And it's going to increase tremendously during this cycle of Venus and Mercury. Ashe? Okay. So we'll find a balance in our godly self. When that 2-7 come together, once you find that balance, you in a space of humanitarianism. Now you're doing stuff for the greater good of the universal collective. You know, not just your community, not just the neighborhood, not just your country. We're talking about the eighth chakra. You know, we're coming out of your crown chakra with this vibe once you got this balance going on. So it's essential that you get it there. So we're coming from a completion and we're adding it to the cornerstone of this month, the materializing. So your balanced godly self is bringing you to a space of completion. We're going to add the completion to materialization. What we're going to come up with is a 13, which is the karmic debt number, but it's utilizing your knowledge and application of said knowledge. How are you understanding your knowledge? All right. And that comes back together and makes 4 again. So we're materializing with the balance that you have with your alignment of your will with the will of the universe. So if you're not in alignment, guess what? You're going to materialize that lack of alignment still. All right. Until you learn your lessons, you know. And so now we come into the 4. 4 goes into 8. You already know we're in the year 8. This is the year of transformation and enforcement. We're still in the solar plexus chakra with it. In order for rebirth to occur, death has to happen. So you got to learn to let go. We're dealing with water and the currencies and flow. So bringing that 4 into 8 brings you into 1 and 2. So now we have knowledge and wisdom here. Now we have, your leadership and your balance skills, learning to be alone, and also learning to have interpersonal relationships, because it's not just about you, right? It's cool to be a good person when you up in the room by yourself, sitting in front of a camera by yourself, not interacting with anybody, but can you be a good person in your interpersonal relationships? Are you keeping the scales balanced in your interpersonal relationships? Because that's where it really matters. How are your bonds? How are your covalent, your ionic, your metallic? How are your bonds? Okay. So that is the focal of today. That 1 and 2 come together to make 3. Today's a day of 3. It's the day of implementing the knowledge and wisdom that you have into a space of understanding. Today is the day of creation and creativity. What are you creating? And is it in alignment with the will of the collective or the will of the universe or the most high or whatever, however you want to call it? So astrologically speaking, we started the day off with an 89% wine and gibbous moon. No set time for rising, but setting at 7:53 a.m. We are in Sagittarius on the tropical. So that's bringing us to that God body energy on that 2-7. Sagittarius is the energy of the oracle and the sages, right? To bring us that optimism. And then we are Vedically speaking in Scorpio constellation. Okay, so transformations are still happening in our space while our mind is on expansion. And then the moon is also in the Fucus constellation today as well. So we have the healer, and this healer is the healer of the gods. So it's still bringing you back to that 2-7 before you get to that 9. Okay, that's what we focused on today. It's in the 12th house. Remember, we end the day on the 1 and 2s to give us to the 3. The 12th house is Pisces house. This isn't all going towards your Akashic records. Is your will, is your movements in alignment with the contract you signed to be here? And if it's not, trust that Venus and Mercury, that Venus and Aries is going to scream at you. Your heart is getting louder and louder to the point where you can't ignore it. You're gonna have to let go of that relationship, let go of that job, let go of them friendships, let go of that community. You gotta walk into this relationship, walk into this community, you're gonna have to walk out of spaces and walk into new spaces. Or create a hell around you. I don't know. It's up to you. Some of y'all like, being angry and depressed. Some of y'all addicted to that shit. Some of y'all love it. It's comfortable for y'all there because it's in alignment with, the trauma y'all keep in y'all root chakra. And y'all got to work on that too, because that ain't in alignment. That shit ain't trauma. That shit was challenges that you needed to get the muscles that you have now to do what you got to do. But if you keep holding on to it as some shit that it's not supposed to be, then the fuck? Anyway, sunrise at 6:03 a.m. today and sets at 7:50 p.m. The west side of the moon crater Grimaldi is tipped into view tonight at 11:36 p.m. It's pretty much quiet in the cosmos. We had so many transits this week. Like, they was like, all right, we get y'all a little day off. Y'all go ahead and marinate in that Venus entering Aries and Mars entering Pisces on the Vedic chart. Y'all go ahead and let the sun enter in Taurus on the tropical and the sun enter in Aries on the Vedic, marinate. Y'all go ahead and let Mercury being stationary and beginning his prograde motion marinate for y'all. Y'all gotta let that shit sink in. And if you guys need assistance in reading your charts, whether it's tropical, Vedic, draconic, natal, progressive, your nakshatras, your numerology charts, your pinnacles, anything in that nature, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. That's my purpose. So, allow me to utilize my purpose. Peace, y'all.